There we go. Let's start it up. So this is B-roll. This is B-roll from the actual convention that I went to in 2023. So this is not my video. This is somebody else's video. I just wanted to put something on. And you can just see what kind of show it is. And it's literally, I've been going for like 4 or 5 years now. Not always as a volunteer, sometimes just as an attendee. MXR, what's up, dude? You're so quick. You earn your paycheck, which sadly is $0 more than the other mods. What's up, man? And every year, so as I was saying, I go to this convention like every year, and in spite of the fact, obviously after you see your 1000th bin of NES games, you know, you've kind of seen them all, but you always see something. I always see something new that I haven't seen before every year. 10 years ago, we didn't know we'd be at this stage in life. AI's taking over. And still no flying cars. Only shit that makes it worse. Honestly, I'm in a better spot overall. Like, I want to thank you, Texas, and other guys who were there back then. I was so broke and so depressed then. Sometimes a few people in the chat's the only thing that kept me going. So I really appreciate you guys. And I'm doing so much better now. And in some way, I couldn't have done it without all of you guys. Like, you guys helped me through all the bad times. I don't want to get too emotional and too sappy. Unfortunately, I'm in IT, so when AI takes over, I could be the first to go or the last to go. Some people have said, like, you know, even once Skynet takes over, they're still gonna need somebody to plug the hard drives in. So I might be the last to go. You guys will be like living on test tube food, and they'll still have me in there plugging in more hard drives. I don't know. We'll see. But yes, but as I was saying, every year here, I see something that I've never seen before. Some kind of retro toy. You see, they got toys. Some kind of peripheral I never seen before. Some arcade cabinet I never seen. There's arcade. There's pinball. It's like I'm not shilling. Like I've never heard of this show before I started dating Mads, and we go every year now. And like it's well worth. It's one of the cheaper cons to go to, and it's well worth the price of admission just to walk around and see what kind of stuff there is. You know, it's a smaller size regional con. I saw some Famicom Disk System games this year, which I know of, like Master System games, loose. Like I know of them, but I've never held them in my hand before. You know, so that's always fun. That's so cool. Yeah, exactly. That's all we need sometimes. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. So it looks like the YouTube stream is working up and properly. Bellingham, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Hope you're having a good night. Welcome, welcome. If you guys are just joining us now on the YouTube. I just came back from a retro game con like I was talking about. This is not my footage from the convention. I might do a video next week, but I just wanted to put some B-roll up. It's an awesome convention. If you're new here, we actually usually do actual gameplay, like retro games, action games, but in this kind of wheelhouse. So if you like that stuff, you are in the right place. You can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And Barry, thanks very much if you subscribed or you liked. That helps out a lot. We're a super small channel, so I always hate to even mention those things, but YouTube wants me to. So that is very much appreciated. And let me know if you guys have any questions. I wanted to show up what I picked up at the convention. I do ninja games. Yeah, speaking of which. So I was not going to buy anything. I promised myself I was not going to spend a dime this year. But this one booth was doing $5 players guides. He had tons of loose players guides. Didn't matter what it was, $5 a pop. Okay, cool. Yeah, we do all kinds of like if you like retro games or anything that's wheelhouse. Sometimes people are like, "When are you playing Roblox?" We don't do Roblox here, but we do all kinds of other stuff here. Anything vaguely in this area. The Venn diagram of action games, fighting games, retro games. So I had to pick up the Ninja Gaiden 2 Players Guide, appropriate for the Ninja Game month that we're doing, and that was only $5. And then this one. This is the Guild Wars 2. I've never played Guild Wars in my life, but it's a big, huge hardcover. And I was like, is this supposed to be in the $5 bin? And the guy was like, yeah, I just want to get... Like, it was Sunday, so they don't want to take this stuff home. You know what I mean? They got to put it in their car or whatever. So I was like, $5? Let's go. Yeah, big W. Yeah, that was absolutely worth getting. I'm super happy about that. I bought something. Yeah, you know me, dude. You know, plus I was just talking about how broke I used to be when I started this channel. So now that I have a little bit of money, I want to spend it. And Mrs. Xerox got a few stuffed animals. That's her weakness, which I paid for. I don't think she won't get mad if I say I paid for them. We got a Tails. I don't have them to show on the stream, but we got a Tails plushie and a Shadow the Hedgehog plushie. So we ended up spending like $50 at the con plus dinner. That's the thing you don't think of when you go to a convention. Just obviously the travel and whatever else you may have to pay for. Um, we have to go to the con for free because we're volunteers, but you still gotta buy dinner every night, and you're probably eating out. And if you're traveling, you're eating out. You don't want to eat at McDonald's, so we went out and got something good. So that actually adds up after 3 nights. Hell yeah, it was. So I'm happy with my purchase. These will probably sit on a shelf, never to be moved again. But it'll still be worth it. Yeah, so tons of real hardware there. Some a Game Boy, yeah. There's so much real hardware, and the cool thing that's coming up now is modded hardware. Like I saw it was an SNES in an all transparent black case. So it's the real SNES hardware, and they either make or modify a custom case for it that's like jet black, and then put all the real guts in it. And then they also maybe they'll mod it with HDMI out or whatever, which is that's way cool to me, dude. Spam the W's, yeah, absolutely. I usually don't make that many pickups. We're winning out here. Um, so this is not the crazy deals I made this weekend post because I really did not spend that much, but I love seeing what's out there. And so hardware is like not my weakness. Like I don't, as much as I love SNES, I actually don't own a real SNES. I don't own a real NES. I don't own that many physical games. I play on emulator. I'm not gonna lie, but little doodads and weird controllers and stuff like that and greeblies, that's kind of my weakness. So I bought a bunch of that kind of stuff. That's usually where my money ends up going. And like I said, you always find something new that you did not know about. And thanks very much for folks who saw. I saw a few subs come on YouTube come in, but it doesn't. The audio notification doesn't play, and the counter doesn't update automatically. I'll update it on the next ad break. But we're actually almost at the goal, which is wonderful. I appreciate it. For those that don't know, when I say the ad break, I mean on Twitch because we're not actually monetized on YouTube. That's one of the only reasons I care about subscribers on YouTube. You need at least 1,000 to even apply to get monetized. So it's everything between now and 1,000 is like not meaningful, but one day it will be meaningful. But Twitch, we're doing good. Is there comics? Not as much at this one. There's like you can find a little bit of loose, of course. Yeah, you can find a little bit of loose comics if you know where to look. At a place like this, but this is specifically a retro gaming expo. There's a bigger convention in Connecticut called Connecticon, and wherever you live at, there's probably one near you. Like I never knew about it, even though Hartford's only less than 2 hours from me. I live near Boston. I don't want to dox myself, but it's less than 2 hours to Hartford, which is like if you live in Texas or you live in California, 2 hours is like close. It's in your backyard, people would say. But I never knew about all these cons until I happened to start dating somebody who lived in Connecticut, and then I started going. Yeah, you see, I love all the custom CRTs, and these are like real, actual old CRTs, but people make custom ones and custom shells, and people do 3D printed cartridges for fan games that never really had physical releases, and cool stuff like that. I love stuff like that, dude. I cannot get enough of that stuff. Right? Hey, what's up? Hi, bro. What's up? Welcome to the chat. Hope you're having a good night. How are you doing? So the funny thing is, prices have probably gone up since this video. So everything all the things you see with stickers, it's probably more than that now. The main benefit you can get if you are interested in buying games at a place like this, what level am I on? You have to be on at least 4 or 5. I forget. I don't even know how to check. Maybe you can do see what the bot is. There a way to use the bot command to check? Can I do this? Is this real? Because usually prices are kind of set at what they're set at. Like if it's like $12 on eBay, most vendors will have it between $10 and $13. There you go. It does work. You know what I mean? It's not like the old days where you're gonna find gold sitting in a bin and get a killer price on it. Like that's just not a thing anymore. But what you can do at a convention, which is nice, is bundle things together. If you want 3 or 4 games, especially on the 3rd day of the convention, the 2nd day of the convention, most vendors will cut you a deal. I mean, after all, they're there to get rid of the stuff. If they wanted to take it home with them, they wouldn't have brought it. Level 3, that seems pretty good. So that's what I usually do when I buy players' guides. I'm like, if I buy 2 or 3, will you give me a good deal? And usually they say, especially these are heavy, so they don't want to take them home. So they're like, yeah, hell yeah. This guy was doing buy 4, get 1 free, which is tempting, but I couldn't find 4 that I wanted. I would have had to find 5 that I wanted to get the free one. 2 is enough for me. Plus, my girlfriend would have beat me up if I brought home a stack of 5 of these. And the guy I spent the rent money on old players' guides. That's so nice. Yeah, and if you've never been to a con, especially a smaller con, I recommend it. Because I know a lot of people, especially if we're gamers, we're nerds, we're shut-ins. I know a lot of people who are like, oh, it's just not my thing, there's too many crowds. And I totally get that, but if you've never been, I would say to try it once. Because everyone is so welcoming. Like, I play fighting games mainly, and if you play online, you would think everybody's a toxic butthole because everyone's just like, you suck, I hate you, I hate your character, I hate your playstyle. And then they had some arcade cabinets there, head-to-head setups, and we were playing Street Fighter. Everyone's so nice. Oh, it's cool, nice to meet you, where you from? I can't believe you hit me with that combo, whatever. It's a whole different vibe. So it's cool just to meet our fellow gamers out there in the world. Love Zelda? Yeah, man, there was tons of Zelda stuff. There was a guy selling replica Master Swords, like steel ones. It was sick. How do you level up? I think just stay longer and chat more, and you'll level up over time. So you will probably level up to 2 tonight if you're just here for most of the stream. We usually stream for like 2 hours, and I'm gonna add rewards for leveling up. I just haven't figured out what they are yet. Do I play Zelda? Yes, but we don't usually play it on the channel. No way. Yeah, man. They're a lot of money. And you gotta, like, if you're flying home, you gotta get it through TSA. That's the hard part. Chuck, what's up, man? Welcome back. We back. We made it back. What do you mean? Like, if you buy a real steel sword and you bring it through an airport, they're gonna, you can probably get it on a plane some way. But they might have a few words to ask you about that. I did my replica like Star Wars sword when I went to Disney a few years ago, and I didn't know how I was gonna get that through TSA. But I didn't think of it. If it's the airport in Orlando, obviously they see a million of them, so they just didn't even care at all. Like I just had it in the custom case that Disney gives you, and they know what it is already. Weapons has a process for bringing on a plane. Of course, you would know that. Of course you would know that. Speaking of which, I was going to mention to you, dude, you should have came to the convention. I didn't notice until we ended up helping sell the tickets. We got a military discount at Retroworld Expo, 20%, bro. You could have gone in for the whole weekend for like $50. And I got cheap falls. And you blasted. See, of course you're the weapons expert. You blasted that guy. I didn't know. Damn, I didn't know, dude. And if you guys see me answering a chat that you don't see, on Twitch they can see the YouTube chat because I use a different layout. On YouTube you cannot see the Twitch chat, so you might see me responding to somebody from the Twitch chat. I should have gone. You could have won. Apparently, I think you could have won SF6 because, dude. So the player that I played in grand finals last year, I sold him a ticket this year. Okay, so he went in, and I was like, "Do I know you?" And I was like, "Did we play SF6 last year?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got second, bro." And I was like, "Bro, I got first. And I fucking smoked you. Hold that out. Here's your ticket." But then I walked by during grand finals, and I didn't see him. So maybe there was better players this year. I didn't watch, but Lord Antonio from GU told me that the competition was not that stiff. No pun intended. So maybe you would have smoked everybody. Oh, Bueno got top 8, the homie? I didn't even, I'm a scumbag. I didn't even watch his matches. I texted with him a little bit. He said he did okay. He said he went 2-2 and got top 8. So that's pretty good then. He's the homie, man. Did they fix the stream though? When I walked by, they were having the GU guys were having trouble with the stream. I try to help. I was telling the anecdote earlier. I try to help Antonio fix their OBS. I mean, technically, I was staff at the convention, so I should help him, right? But I was not able to. I was not able to fix their issue in time. 13 entrants? I mean, it was like 20 last year or something. That's not a huge drop off. I don't know. I didn't end up talking to the owners that much. I talked to them a little. You know, they trained me like, here's how you sell the tickets. I don't know if they want to make the esports part a bigger part of it, because on all the paperwork and they showed some of the older posters. This was the 10th Retroworld Expo, so they showed on some of the signage and stuff. Older versions of the name said like Retroworld Expo Esports and Gaming Convention, and a lot of the stuff still mentions esports. If you look on the map on the website, a quarter of the venue hall is supposed to be esports, as opposed to like buying and selling games in the arcade area. And like they have the Tetris World Championship, which I'm totally down with, and that they have their whole own stage just for that, and that's sick. But the other esports area is just the GU booth, basically, which they bring a bunch of setups, and then a small area for like retro game challenges. Like you could go for a high score in whatever, final fight, and if you have the best one out of the weekend, you win a controller or whatever. But they have the floor space and the logistics and the setups to run really good events, but there's just not that many entrants. So I wonder if they want to push that more in future years, because it could be really sick. That does sound sick. I think there's crossover. I think sometimes attendance at events can be lukewarm, because if you try to do too many things, it like dilutes the overall product. Like if they were like, it's also a Comic-Con and it's also a horror con, then like maybe that would be too many things and nobody shows up for each thing. But in this case, I think it's synergized as well. People who there's an arcade section, so there's a Third Strike head-to-head setup. I put up a 10-game win streak in Third Strike, and that was super fun. And so like obviously there's crossover between the FGC and arcade games and retro games. So I think it could be a match made in heaven, but it just hasn't seemingly happened yet. They've had pop bonuses past years too. Was it this the venue that did ECT? Yes, yeah. But for this show, they only rent out one half. Like when we went to that, we went to a horror con there, and there was that big open area because they rented out both sides. Where some of them they would just use it for lines for the guests, because some of them I guess would get long if you have like Robert Englund there or something. They don't do that for this con. They rent out one half of it, and then you're using all that. You can see this is B-roll from the con like 2 or 3 years ago. This is not my footage from this weekend. And they really use all the space. They have a little artist alley. They have a little arcade section. They have a main stage where there was a few live bands playing. But it's a lot of buying and selling, which is cool. But the Hartford Convention Center is an awesome venue. I still think the world is ripe for more esports events there, because it's just nice and big. So if you do, the biggest con there generally is called Kineticon, and it's a anime and fan expo. It's more weeb centric, but it's still gaming and pop culture in general. And that I've done that con as well, and that was really cool. And that had over 100 entrants for SF6 the first year that when SF6 came out. And that's really cool because they really use every part of the Buffalo, because it's so packed. They always sell out. And so like that, if you've been there, there's like an outdoor promenade with like by the water, because it's the whole venue's on a river. And the outdoor part is also part of the convention for that show. And they like have food trucks and stuff like that. And then you see, you cosplayers walking around getting food, and Wesker getting dinner with Mario or whatever. And then they use all 3 floors. The 3rd floor has even more vendor booths on it and stuff like that. Which this con, the 3rd floor is just for panel rooms. But if you rent out the whole venue, you can also use the hallway space for more booths and stuff like that. So it makes it a really like cool dynamic space. I assume a lot of events go down to Hartford instead of Boston just because it's cheaper, but it's also a really cool venue. Like the BCEC is cool, but it's also just basically a giant square box. They should do something in Encore. That would be awesome, and I have no problem recommending that as a venue, even though I have mixed feelings about the company having worked there. There's probably complications with that. It probably costs a fortune, and I'd actually, even having worked there for 2 years, I'd have no idea how much that actually would cost. I know the main ballroom can be sectioned off. They can put up partitions, so if they don't have to use the whole thing, they could do part of it. And that would probably be cheaper. But there could also be legal complications. There's a very strange thing with esports and gambling. And you can know that if you see when players are trying to get visas and licenses and stuff, it can be difficult because a lot of laws have the word gaming in them. This area is a gaming area. This is a non-gaming area. Like there's drinking and non-drinking. And this is is your establishment licensed for gaming? And that means gambling. It means card games and slots. But somehow pro gaming, like esports, can get looped into it depending on how the law is written in each state. So maybe that's why gaming events steer clear of casinos. I have no idea. Or it could just be the expense. And I think the laws are pretty strict in Massachusetts. Evo Boston would be tight. I agree, and we should get Evo Boston before we get Evo Southeastern France edition. Like, the US is big enough to support 2 Evos if we're going to have an Evo Japan and an Evo Europe. So I'm a little bit surprised, actually, we did not get that. I mean, it's not that hard to get to Vegas, but it still would be fun. It would be fun to have 2. Do it in the fall. The language should change for visas because gaming's always meant gambling. Right, they were here first. But and there's some, and it gets bad because some boomer lawmakers, which is all of them, think that pro gaming is kind of gambling. Like you're playing Mario Kart for money, which is a completely different thing. It's way more common with like pro chess. If you had to set aside the whole esports versus sports discussion completely, just to compare it to something, it's a game of skill. It is like Street Fighter is not a game of chance. Well, depending on who you ask on Twitter, SF6 might be a game of chance, But the true definition, it's not a game of chance, right? It is a game of skill. It's not poker. It's chess. It's billiards. Is fighting gambling? I don't know. It'll be fun to not travel far. Exactly. That's what I hope. I hope ECT's coming back. I haven't even dared to look at the rumor mill for that. I want to believe that their ECT was not on the Pro Tour this year because of some other logistical reason. Because this event also moved its dates. This event was typically. Let's find something. No, I don't want to get fucking demonetized playing some James Rolfe videos. What other convention B-roll can I play? Apologies to all humans. It is a good show, dude. Yeah, this guy's going broke. We'll steal his content. No, I'm just kidding. All credit to Pirates Gaming, dude. Go check out. I'm gonna sub. Go check out his stuff. I just want some B-roll to put in the background. It's legalized gambling. It kind of. Hold on. I'm gonna catch up on the chat here. Betting on a fight is gambling, but fighters betting on themselves, is that gambling? No, because it's not. Like, I know what you're saying, because betting on the fighter is a game of chance, and yet it's also not, because like you have no way of knowing the outcome of the fight. But you're making it's not like gambling on a horse race. You're making an educated guess based on which fighter you think is better at fighting. But still, you get odds, so it's weighted based on who is expected to win. So that evens it out to a game of chance again. Like, you're still just wagering your money, hoping an event might happen. Because you can do prop bets, and you can be like, I bet this guy will catch 2 touchdown passes. And if so, I win like $1 million. And that's just like, you might as well bet on if a tree's going to fall on your house. Like, it's basically chance. So we could do that for FGC. We could be like, if this guy does 5 perfect parries this set, I'll give you $10. Which, by the way, we used to do. I'm not one of those FGC's guys who was like, back in my day, I beat a man up for beating me at Melty Blood. I'm not that old school. But truly, back in my day, we had money matches, and we bet on every set in top 8. Okay, someone would just scream into the audience at an East Coast tournament, who likes this guy? And if you would raise your hand, they would take your $5, and then someone would hold it, and the winner would get the $10. Whoever bet right, done. I don't think you can do that anymore. I know money matches are explicitly banned at Evo, and I've never bet on a match in 10 years. Only because I wouldn't. I would never like approach somebody and try to bet on a match. It was always somebody approaching me. So that's how that happened, and that has not happened to me in a decade. So I think that era might be over. As long as you don't bet on your opponent and throw the fight, it's legal. See, Roger knows. What's up, Roger? Hope you're having a good night. Yeah, exactly. As long as it's like insider trading in Wall Street. The line between, like, I think this company will do well because they have a good product, so I will buy stock, and I know something the public doesn't, and I'll do illegal insider trading, may seem like a fine line, but there's clear laws about what you can do and what you can't do. Oh, but I was talking about ECT. Yeah, I want to believe, because, I was saying, this convention is normally in August, but now it was in September, and I have no, speaking of insider trading, I have no insider info on why that was, but they did move the dates. And so I don't know if the convention center's having the problem, maybe they're having maintenance, maybe some big shows booked them, maybe the price went up, maybe it's because of the, looming recession, inflation, tariffs, all that jazz. I haven't got a clue. But ECT was canceled this year, if anyone doesn't not know that. And I want to believe they canceled it for logistical reasons. They couldn't get the weekend they want. They couldn't get... And Long Island Joe tweeted something like this. Let me see if I can find the tweet. That, like... Oh, sometimes things just don't work out and we're going to have to cancel ECT this year. He did not say ECT's canceled forever. So I want to believe that then he then said to Capcom at some time earlier this summer, hey, I'm not doing ECT this year. So then they said, okay, then we're going to take it off the Pro Tour because it doesn't exist. Rather than the alternative, which is that Capcom snubbed them, and not being a Pro Tour event meant they basically had to cancel the event, which means ECT might never come back, which would make me really sad. It was really great having a premiere event in our backyard, and I am glad I did not take it for granted the 1 year that we had it. And I think there's no other major event in the East Coast, obviously discounting CEO, which kind of seems like its own thing. Like, it is physically on the East Coast, but it's as far from me as the Midwest. And it's more like an international tournament anyway. Let me check let me check the East Coast Throwdown official Twitter account. What's the latest lore? No rage bound or hold on. Oh, Gustavo, what's up, man? Nice to see you in the chat. Hold on, I can barely see the chat. I'm gonna bust out of the window here just so I can read it. Not Range Ranger Shinobi. Oh yeah, we talked about that. This is B-roll from Retroworld Expo, but it's not my B-roll. So shout outs to this guy. Go follow this guy's channel. Everyone say hi to Lord Gustavo, man. I met him at Retroworld Expo. I hope you got home safe and all, bro. He's an excellent guitar player. Go check out his channel and all that stuff. I know you stream, you do YouTube. And I wanted to mention to you, dude, you left your cards, your business cards, on the main stage. I was helping Lance break down the stage after you left, and I found your business cards. So I'm just gonna leave them in random places. I brought like 5, I don't know, whatever it was, 5 or 10 of them. I'm gonna leave them in random places all around the greater Boston area. Okay, that's the tech. Saudi Arabia pressured them to cancel ECT. So that we didn't even talk about that. The same company that runs Esports World Cup, which is majority owned by, apparently, I don't know anything. I'm ignorant. Like, we never talk about politics in this channel. I'm the least qualified person to ever talk about anything socio-political, but unfortunately people way less qualified and even dumber than me talk about it way more. But I'm gonna put a disclaimer that I have no idea what I'm talking about. But apparently Quidia, however it's pronounced, the company that runs Esports World Cup, which is kind of a shadow company, sort of supposedly owned by the Saudi government, owns now a majority stake in EVO, the fighting game world championship. So the few steps removed, if you look on Twitter and somebody says the Saudi government owns EVO, that's not exactly true. It's a few steps removed from that, but it's pretty big. It's a pretty big ownership of EVO. And people are afraid how this is going to affect the community going forward for all kinds of valid reasons and all kinds of crazy alarmist reasons. But TLDR is, I don't know how that will affect other events. I don't know if these people now control like more of the FGC than we can even imagine. That's kind of unfortunate to think about. But I hope that's not why ECT was canceled. In fact, here on the East Coast, we would love a large injection of evil money to prop up our events, because this shit is expensive over here. No, I'm kidding. But if you have any, because Sajam talked about, he's like, I turned down a huge bag to work for like bad companies. I'm like, I'll take that bag. I probably wouldn't though, but it's nice to dream about. I appreciate that, my dude. It was amazing meeting you. Loved hanging out, talking with you. Yeah, it was really cool, dude. Like, that's what it's all about. Like, if I do this channel for 10 more years and I never hit 2,000 followers, it is worth it just for the people I met along the way. And working events, like, they don't, I assume you are aware, they don't pay us for volunteering at events like that. Like, they don't, it's all for the love of the game. And it's just, sometimes when I'm sitting at home streaming for like 5 viewers and like getting 7th at tournaments all the time, like, I lose sight of why I love this stuff. Like I'm just like, it's another platformer, it's another Metroidvania, it's another fighting game, it's another ranked ladder. Like, whatever, dude. And then when I go to events like that, it reignites my passion. I'm like, this is why I do it. The great people, the great areas, the great seeing new shit I never seen before. It is definitely the first time I've seen a solo guitarist on stream on stage at a convention. So thanks for that. Like that was cool. You always see something new at every event, dude. Very nice to meet you. Turning down money for your meals is a slippery slope because then people are gonna expect that from you all the time. That's very true. I often make the analogy like, okay, you drank a Coke this morning. Do you know that you agree with the morals and politics of every executive of Coke? Not just the CEO, but what about people farther downstream? Like, what if there's like a middle manager of Coke who's a real piece of shit, and you still drink that Coke? You should turn that Coke sponsorship down. Where does that line? And it's not to yell at anybody's line because I'm not an expert, but where that line is like way hairier than people want to admit. This reseller guy in the Mario hat is actually the first guy ever. I'm not like doxing him or whatever. At a flea market in Massachusetts, who told me about Retroworld Expo and that I should go there, and he was right. I don't know the name of his booth. I'm gonna find it later. This guy's the goat. What a sick show. Someone will just pop in like you turn down. It also has stock in that soda you're drinking. Yes, exactly. Right. Like what you don't know if they may own a majority stake in that. So it does get a very and like also if you work an event for a great company, one of the people running the event could be a horrible human who has dead bodies buried under his porch, and you took money from him. Is that better or worse than a company who doesn't agree with some, social policy? How you feel a certain way about? I think that way, but I know not everybody thinks that way. It's at least we can agree it's better to have like polite discourse about it than yell and scream. Or Mr. Wizard, yeah, that's very true. It's not like we don't have real examples of this. That's very true, dude. And the only thing that I really bothers me, I'll tell you this. The only thing that bothers me is that people who are two-faced about this kind of thing, and people who will defend somebody with their last breath. I mean, this guy's my homie. I'm sure you can guess what kind of certain FGC figures I'm talking about, or anything in gaming, or anything in life. This guy's my homie. He's the greatest guy I ever met. Don't ever talk shit about this guy. He's the best. Any bad things he's done, forget about those bad things. He is the greatest because of what he's done for this community. And then as soon as that person is canceled, they're like, I never knew that guy. I never talked to that guy. I actually never liked that guy. I don't even know that guy. Scrub all the clips of me saying he's great. He's always been a piece of shit. I was the first one to know it, and I was trying to tell everybody else. To me, that's when you lose all credibility. That's my own point of view. I hate those people because we know some of those people. You gotta be more even keel than that. If you're gonna stick to your guns, at least stick to your guns. Hey, Flying the Ripper, thanks very much for the follow. I appreciate it. Apparently notifications are now not working on Twitch. I have tomorrow off of work, so I'm just gonna sleep so much, and B I'm gonna redo all the notifications and stuff. I think in time for Tuesday's stream because I also looked at the emote. This layout happens to have the new emote goal that I hit forever ago, and I never made it. So I'm overdue to make a new emote for this channel. And then I'm gonna get the notifications working on YouTube and Twitch. I have no idea why they're not behaving themselves. But thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. We also got a few on YouTube tonight, but they didn't go off either. It's supposed to play a Hadouken sound effect on YouTube, but it only works when it wants to. Um, there's not much for events for the rest of the year. That's what me and Mrs. Xerox were talking about on the way home. Like, what's the rest? What's for the rest of the year? But ECT's canceled, sadly. There's no guts this year. I don't think. Somebody tell me if that's not true. And then there is a few horror conventions, and there's Rhode Island Comic Cons in November, and that's kind of it. And the holidays will be here before you know it. Obviously, the holidays, like December and January, is kind of the off season, right? So this Retro World Expo actually might be it for me this year. And I went to MagFest, but I did not go to Evo. I did not go to any. We did not go to Combo Breaker. We did not go to CEO. Um, so this honestly might. We did not go to Kineticon. No Anime Boston. No PAX. I did not go to PAX for the first time in I think 10 years. I think I went to PAX East every year for 10 years straight, and I honestly am so old that I forget if that's actually true. But it feels true, and I finally missed it for once. You want to do a horror con? We could. We can. I believe Mr. Billiam has a few coming up, so we can hit him up. He knows when they all are. He knows the dates. We could go. I would go. I think there's one at this venue in a couple next. It's either next weekend or it's in a couple weeks. And that will be fun. We found a new food spot down there. It's called Parkville Market, and you go and it's like an indoor food court with like 20 food options. You know, I'm food motivated. I also think we might do some other Halloween stuff. We were thinking of what you call it? It used to be called Spooky World. It's called Nightmare New England now, right? Or like some kind of haunted hayride type of thing. I think we were talking about. We could plan something. The boss. The thing about asking me about plans on stream is that actually I have actually no control over my own schedule, and Mads controls the whole schedule. Mrs. Sideshow wants to do one exactly, dude. That they actually control the schedules. Really, they should just have a group chat. We don't even need to be in it, and they can just tell us what we're doing. It's like pools. They'll call us when our name is up. They're like, Sideshow, report to the hayride at 2 p.m. And you'll be like, all right, I got my stick. Let's go. I'm going on the hayride. I got my book converter. Can I plug it into the hay? Oh yeah, that's how it feels. I actually, what's that expression like? Stop. How I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb. I was at first like many men apprehensive about giving part of my life over to somebody, but then after a few months of like I don't even know what I'm doing this weekend. Someone knows, but I don't know. It's a good feeling. And even sometimes when it's like what I'm doing this weekend is all the chores I was supposed to do. That's not as fun. But if I was supposed to do them, it's my own fault. Um, but sometimes it's like we're going to this movie tonight. I'm like, I didn't even know this movie was coming out. This is great. It's like being a kid again. So we'll do. I might start Shinobi Art of Vengeance on Tuesday. That's my current plan, my current idea. Because I don't want to do. I'm afraid, as of right now, it feels like I have so much time until Ninja Gaiden 4 comes out. That's sort of the plan for Back to Ninja School, and why I did not call it do a September pun, because Ninja Gaiden 4 doesn't come out until October. Let me find out. October 21st. So I think through October we'll do horror games as well as more ninja games leading up to Ninja Gaiden 4. And I don't know if that will take us through the end of October. Maybe I'll finish it on like the 25th or the 27th. I don't know. And then fit in some more horror games before the 31st. And you can do horror games until November anyway. And then maybe I'll do more like sometime towards the back half of November. We'll switch to like I'll do like a holiday theme. You can do like snow themed games. Isn't there a League of Legends spin-off game that's all about Nunu? Is that true? Did I imagine that? Um Jimmy, pull up that video about the Nunu game. I can do that, and plus some other podcasty, like Christmassy. Like maybe we can do a watch along of something or a movie or something like that, and that'll get us through the end of the year. And then I don't even, and then maybe I'll take some time off in January, and I have no idea what. I never had this channel planned out more than three months in advance. So that seems like a plausible idea. So the reason I said that is because I think that from now till October 21st is plenty of time to finish Shinobi. We still have never played Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. And maybe I have the what the hell is it called? I keep forgetting what it's called. It's Way of the Ninja? It's a remake of an SNES game. Shadow of the Ninja. Oh, and I could play I didn't even think of this. I could play TMNT games. I have Shredder's Revenge and Splintered Fate. I don't think of those as ninja games, but they are ninjas and it has ninja in the title. I'm down for more Dead by Daylight. Yeah, for sure. We could get at least a few games of that in. And we're looking at some other ones too. Like I know there's more like newer iterations on that with more mechanics. We were talking about that. I was talking to Bill the other week. We can figure out what's out there. I'm sure there's between free games and cheap games. There's plenty that's out there, dude. So we'll do that for sure. Steam powered song. Oh, you found it. Thank you. It only would be funnier if I scroll down to see the price, only to see that I owned it already, which I don't. That would have been the only funny thing. Thank you for finding that. $30. So we could do that in the winter, and then some like winter themed ROM hacks or something. And maybe Pokemon TCG will do a winter set and all that good stuff. So I don't know. I've enjoyed doing the stream, the themed months, just to if I do stuff besides fighting games, and we'll still always do fighting game stuff. Just to give me some way to direct my energy. Like it hasn't increased viewership like measurably at all. But I'm having more fun, and that counts for something. So I'm told. Everybody online says just do what you love. So I'm trying. Got to get some rest, but glad to have met you, my dude. Thanks, homie. Thank you very much as well. It's super nice to meet you. And be well. Don't be a stranger. We have a Discord as well if you wanna. We talk about Ninja Gaiden, bro. Definitely nice to see you and keep up with you and everybody check out Gustavo's channel. He's a really sick guitar player. We get the ad coming up on Twitch, so we'll let that play. Thanks for sitting through ads. We are actually monetized on Twitch, so we make a few dollars here and there occasionally. A dollar comes in my window with a note that says, "Thanks for streaming a million billion hours," from the Twitch cops. But have a good night. Get some rest, dude. You need it and you deserve it. Man played 2 sets in 1 weekend. I didn't even do that. I sat on my butt all weekend. That was easy. I love seeing there's a big box Metroid in that shot. I love seeing big box game, like modern big box games. Because again, that's half the reason you go to a show. You could easily buy it online. But online you can't see 5 of them on a shelf together and like hold them in your hands. So that's half the fun. What else am I doing? I don't know. I had no plan for this stream. at all. Because now I probably won't go that far past midnight. So now there's no point in what was I saying, man? In starting a game now. So I probably should just chill until this video runs out and then take 1,000 naps. I'll just emote from your channel. It's the sub emote. I might have the sub. That's a pretty good emote. You got 20 emotes. You're using all your slots. This guy's a better. You guys better go follow Gustavo. This guy's a better streamer than me. I'm only using like half of my slots. Because that's the Discord's the best place to like. Because I don't always, depending if I'm streaming on YouTube or on Twitch, I don't always, depends how you get notified and what I start first. But I always post in the Discord. Oh, I was gonna restream UFA top 8. It's probably too late for that now because I missed it, but I didn't get spoiled, so we could have watched like top 4 and just reran it. See, I feel weird about watching other people's B-roll because then I'm like, I don't know who this person is that I'm showing a video of them on my channel. And is this appropriate? But we'll let this one finish running. And if I don't get copyright stricken, maybe we'll do it again in the future. That's all. It's simple. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. This has been a pretty fun stream. I think when I talked about my convention experience last year, I got more pickups, so I had more to talk about. All I did was buy some players guides. Selling tickets was really fun. It's fun to see how the sausage is made. Me and Mads helped sell the tickets for the convention. There's a relevant joke in there somewhere. Store's slightly open. There's nothing untowards in there, but we'll just close that. Where's my salt? You guys know I need my salt. There's a joke in there about being an IT guy and not being able to get away from tickets. But it was actually fun and stress-free because, okay, you're handling money, so it's not always stress-free. Like, the weirdest thing is when somebody would come in and be like, all right, I got 2 kids. I need the kid discount, the military discount. I'm paying for half of my wife. My wife's paying for half of me. And you're like, bro, would you just say 4 tickets? But it was all cool. Everything was like, there was not one angry screaming customer. Because it's our people, it's gamers, you know what I mean? Everyone's chill. We just sometimes people had to wait while we had to call someone more Hollywood than us to resolve their dispute or their issue. And that was it. And there was never a huge line. So I guess we did okay. But we never had more than 2 windows open. It was just me and Mads. And we knocked it out. So that was fun, dude. I would do again. Thanks to I don't know if I'll clip this. Thanks to the whole Retroworld crew for having us, man. That was a blast. And it's definitely a different vibe, though. Everyone I know from the FGC who's like working a convention is completely different from attending a convention, which obviously I know that on some level, but like it's different. Obviously, if I'm playing a tournament, particularly if you make it to day 2, there's a certain amount of pressure. You got to wake up early again the next day. You have butterflies in your stomach. What if I get cooked? The worst feeling, which has happened to me before, is if you make it to day 2 of an event and then you wake up and immediately go and lose your first match. And you're like, bro, I should have just thrown my match last night so I could have got wasted. Like, this was all for nothing. Like, the difference between like 84th place and 52nd place is $0.00. Like, this has no value to me unless I want to like post farm it on Instagram for some likes. No one's gonna be like, this guy got top 52 at Butthole Muncher Regional 7. So it's like shit. Like, get top 128 is cool at a big tournament, or top 64 at like a mid-sized tournament. But other than that, it's like whatever. So that sucks, and you have pressure. You have to practice. Like sometimes I would drill combos in my hotel room, you know, the night before the event started, Thursday night or Friday night, depending on when I was playing. So especially if you're not playing, your pool's not till Saturday. You're like, you really can't enjoy yourself that much on Friday. Like maybe not everybody's as sweaty as me, so maybe they don't care. But I'm like, I don't want food. I can't eat. What if I literally can't eat cheese the night before if I have to play tomorrow. So I definitely can't drink any. I'm 35, bro. I can't even drink like if you take a non-alcoholic hard seltzer and put it next to a White Claw can, I can't drink that the night before I play. It's too close. Who knows what might happen. So I gotta be totally clean for 2 days, and that kind of kills your enjoyment of the event. There's a certain like pressure to the event. But working a show is different because although that's totally gone. There's no you can't like, especially if you're a volunteer. If you're not getting paid, then you can't really get fired. Like I made a few whoopsies, and I'm like, well, what are they gonna do? Fire me? I'm a volunteer. But it is more of a long haul. Like you have to pace yourself. You have to get up again the next day and again the next day. You're never out of the tournament. You're in the tournament. You're in the thick of it. So I got a and you enjoy it in a different way. So it was really enjoyable. I actually hella enjoyed it. So I might try to get involved in more events that way. That was a lot of fun, man. For you, $70. Now I always think about these. Do people get good deals because they're streaming? Like even if it was me with the chest mounted like cam, they don't know I only have 5 viewers. Like I'll just be like, bro, come on, cut me a deal. Come on, bro. And they'll be like, for you, $20. Does that work? Maybe it does. My favorite story, and this store is still open, so I won't dox this guy. I think it's still open. But one of my local sellers, and he's one of these guys who goes around to shows and conventions, and he's a reseller basically. At the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to call everyone who owns a game store a reseller because there's way more nuance to it than that. But he does reselling, and then he has a physical location. It's like whoever's games, you know what I mean? And I love those kind of stores usually, but this one guy in particular, every single thing on the shelf in that store would be priced exactly $3, like $2 or $3, never more than that, above eBay price. If this game sold consistently everywhere else up and down the Eastern Seaboard for $20, it was $23 in this guy's store, $22. Like, I mean, we went there so many times, and I was like, am I imagining this? And then I would look it up, and it would be true every single time. So say the eBay price was $20, he has on a shelf for $22.50. If you take it off and you show him, you're like, maybe I'll buy this Metroid, whatever the case may be. Every time he goes, for you, I'll do $20. And he would tell you exact eBay price. So he'd pretend like he's giving you a discount, but he would just then give you the actual normal retail price of that game. Every single time without fail. Now, I know game stores have to make money, but that was just a little scummy. And in case I clip this, I want to clarify, that's nobody in this video. This is just background footage. But I had a local store like that. And I don't shop there anymore. Even if the prices were acceptable, I just don't, just forget about it, dude. That's too gross. That was too gross for me. I couldn't stomach it. I have plenty of Ninja Gaiden clips banked anyway, so there's no need at all to go and what the hell was I saying? To go and do clips of this stream. I think I like the layout at last year's Retroworld Expo better than this one. This one was just okay in terms of the layout. I think they could refine it further. The arcade game selection. Shout out to that cop lady who I again don't want to dox anybody if you just saw in the footage a second ago. There's a cop who I personally happen to have been to at least 10 shows at this venue. Just by coincidence, like we mentioned earlier, this is also where ECT was for a few years. And the same cop lady is always there peeping. I don't know if she goes there. For all I know, she's also there when it's like, you know, the fish. Yeah, that cop. When it's the fish convention in town, or you know, the car convention. I have no idea. I'm not there for that stuff. But I've seen her at this show, at a horror convention there, at a Comic-Con there, at Connecticut, at ECT. And she's all. But I always appreciate when non-gaming people are like checking out our stuff and aren't like are non-judgmental. They're always like, "It's pretty cool." Yeah, it is pretty cool, man. Thanks for coming. Yeah, do join the Discord. It's a fun place. There's some fun guys there. Obviously, I want Vice Project Doom for NES. I actually should. I'm gonna go watch this guy's video after because I don't know what the criteria. It keeps saying top 100. He's collecting the top 100 something for NES, but some of these games are great and some of them are trash. So I don't know what his criteria is. And some of them are rare and some of them are not. So I have no idea. If it's maybe it's the top 100 bestsellers. Although I'm surprised Star Tropics would be there, but maybe Star Tropics is great. Yeah, like what universe is Double Dragon 3, Star Tropics, and Disney whatever adventures on the same list? I don't know. Jaws, it probably is top 100 selling because everybody had Jaws. Jaws on NES is not a good game, but it's an interesting game. It's like almost the RPG Metroidvania Jaws game, but it's also almost a one-screen arcade game. They couldn't not decide. Or probably ran out of development time. Is actually probably more likely what happened. I don't know what game that is. I couldn't see. I'm blessed to have a camera that has good autofocus. Thanks, ObSpot. I thought about this camera could do that. I bring it around to conventions with me and I connect it to my phone and I can record with it. Because it does, I think it does 1440p at a high refresh rate. But I also might have made that up. And I can get crisper footage. I think I'm just done doing IRL footage. I did a ton. If you look at the channel, I experimented trying this. Because I was like, it's generally agreed that like let's play style content is just dead on YouTube and even on Twitch. Like if you're just like, I'm just gonna stream, if you're not already a big streamer, and you're like, I'm gonna stream this single player game, and then next week I'm gonna stream a different single player game that I want to try. And we'll talk about it, and we'll play it, and we'll show what there is in the game. Nobody cares. That just content is just dead. Even though there's still a billion games to show content for, and you could still say, like, it's not any shittier of content than it was 10 years ago. You could still say a billion funny jokes while playing a shitty single player game. You know, it's not like it's a dead concept, but the audience just moved on. Nobody cares anymore. And so everybody says if you're thinking about doing gaming content, first thing if you're thinking about doing gaming content is fucking don't, man. Like, the world doesn't need any more gaming content creators. It's so oversaturated. You're not gonna say anything new nobody said, and you're not gonna make any fucking money and get any viewers, which I can corroborate, which is completely true. Which is true. The viewers you do get, okay, present company excluded, okay, the viewers you do get will be the best viewers ever. But you really won't. Come on, man. But the next thing everybody says, I don't like giving up. Anyway, as you guys can see, I've been doing this for like 10 years. So clearly I can't take the hint. Um, the next thing people say is, if you're gonna, that's bad advice. But it's funny. I agree with you because it's kind of double. It's kind of two-faced. Because like then the same people will say, but you should only do what you're passionate about and not chase an audience. Because if you're just faking it, it shows. If you're passionate, that will shine through. And I'm like, okay, but I'm passionate about retro games and fighting games, and no, you told me not to do that because it's oversaturated. And like, yeah, but I mean, don't do it's oversaturated, but do what you love. Well, be consistent, but don't stream too much. Work on your thumbnails, but not too much. Always do a handstand before you stream. But they give the most asinine advice. So I just started not reading any of that shit. I can do whatever I want. It's working great for me. Um, but the next advice that I actually did think was halfway decent. So I agree with you that it's bad advice. Fair. um, is like you gotta sort of find your niche. If you're gonna insist on making gaming content in current year, you have to do something unique that not that many other people are doing. And even if it's like I just found this channel, I'm gonna link it. This is not a paid promotion, okay? Um, there's this guy on YouTube that I just found that to prove that there is still room in the universe for gaming content that is not oversaturated. I found this channel on YouTube that is specific to doing playthroughs of games for the PC-88, which is a Japanese, like IBM compatible, almost Windows early DOS computer from the mid 80s, and through the 90s they made another variation on it. I had never heard of this thing in my life. Maybe once I have heard that the PC-88 exists, but I've never seen one. I've never played a game on one. I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works. This guy has a channel dedicated just to that. And the cool thing about this is because it's DOS based, a lot of the games were like fan releases, like homebrew releases, that they were self-distributed. So they weren't, there's, like we have games like this here, plenty of old PC games from the 80s and 90s that maybe only have like 500 or 1,000 copies sold, that are hard to find in borderline lost media. So think about that, but in Japan. We've double not heard of it. I've never heard of the company that made it. And it has no English patch. No, most English speaking fans don't even know that it exists. So there would never be a patch for it. But this guy speaks Japanese. So he is able to figure out the boot process. That's half the challenge. It's a DOS-based game, like the Commodore 64. You have to insert the game, do certain things to get it running, which if you don't speak Japanese, you could never even read the instruction booklet. And then he makes a video about it to show it. He shows the boot process, which is kind of fun if you're an old tech nerd like me. But then he also plays the game, breaks down the gameplay, the story, the characters of games I've never even heard of. I've never even seen the box art of. So that's way cool to me. So there, believe it or not, there's new ground to be broken in 2025 in gaming. It's provably true. So first of all, I've been watching that channel a ton, and if you have any interest in what I just described, you should check it out. But the other thing I wanted to say is that got me thinking about what my niche would be, and like what I could do that other people are not doing. And so I sort of tried last year to do like variety IRL, I guess you could say nerd lifestyle content. That sounds 20% cringe, but like I could do where like what other people in the FGC just play ranked and get sweaty. I could also do, here was my experience going to this event, which you don't see players do. You see, I know like Sajam does this, and other, big Maximilian does this, but not a lot of players who are still actively competing, which I guess you could say I was a year or two ago, do this. And I also do this for non-FGC events. I also go to Comic Cons and I put up some videos of, I went to a cool Japanese market in New Jersey. It's like a plaza of all Japanese stores. So there's a manga store, there's a Japanese grocery store, there's a a couple of like Japanese home goods stores. It's like there's a Daiso, like a Japanese 100 yen store, but in the U.S. And so there's not a channel where you can find decently high level gameplay, but also this stuff. So could that be a niche? It turns out no, it could not. Like you really have to just do one thing, because I put a ton of work into those videos, like by my standards, right? Like an hour for a 60-second, 90-second video, I would put up like just showing, here's the store and here's what I bought there. Um, that's like a couple hours of work for me, which I do work full time. If you guys, I mean, it should be obvious. I don't make almost anything off of this channel, but in case it's not, yeah, I do work full time. And so to spend a day on a video and then post it and have it get like 100 views, especially I had also traveled to this location. Obviously, you're like you're it's places I want to enjoy anyway. It's not like I slavishly went to these places just to make a clip. Like I had a great time, but the part of actually making the clip didn't really. There's no benefit for the channel really. So I enjoyed doing it. I tried it. I learned a lot. You always want, the expression "success is moving from failure to failure with no loss of enthusiasm." Like, to not sound like I'm being negative, I enjoyed the process and I learned a ton about video editing. But I'm not going to do that again for a little while. I'm not going to make those kind of videos if that's not what you guys want to see. Or anyone wants to see. So we're gonna do more gameplay. So I didn't film the last few cons I've been to at all. But we're gonna do more themed gameplay. Like that's what I'm trying for this year, to incorporate my passion for retro games more into the channel and not just do fighting games. And I think that could, even though I just said I should only do one thing, it could work because there's crossover there. I don't think being another sweaty FGC YouTuber who's trying to climb high in ranked, if I put in a lot more time at the game, I mean, if you guys always tell me my execution sucks, and that's only because it does. If I put in time, I think I could be good, like 1700, 1800 MR level, if I only played SF6. And I think I could be that good at almost any fighting game if I put that amount of time into it. If I dropped Street Fighter, I could be that good at Tekken. And if I dropped Tekken, I could be that good at Street Fighter. And if I drop them both, and like don't play single player games that much, I could probably be that good at 2XKO, to be honest with you. I'm going to feel myself. But I don't think that's what I want to do, and I don't think there's a market for that. Like, let's just scroll down the list of SF6 right now. How many 1700 MR players have no viewers? So I got to try to do something else. And we'll see if I can do something where the Venn diagram of my level of fighting games, and my level of retro games, and my level of events can kind of meet somewhere. And I can keep making videos. I want to just make fun. I want to do more scripted videos this year as well. So I'm gonna try. Be an IRL streamer. That's what we were talking about that a little. So I never. You're right that I never did IRL streams. And honestly, this has been fun tonight. So maybe we'll try something. Because there's no reason I can't go somewhere else with, I mean, I need to buy more data for my phone. Put this webcam on my phone or my laptop. I have a laptop, and stream there and do something else. But I tried going to events and making videos from events and like vlog style, and that really didn't do, like, to talk about one of my videos or the other doing well or not well is like redundant, because none of my videos do what anyone who makes any success at this would consider. We're talking about the difference between like a G rank and a I rank video if we were using an A to B scale. Like, but for me, I'm like, okay, if your viewership goes down, you're going in the wrong direction. So I decided to stop doing those videos. But streaming we didn't try yet. We could do that. We could do that. I guess that's it. We went like way off topic all over the place. So I'm gonna stretch the channel more so I can see it. I think if you're gonna be there anyway and you want to record, it's not harm. That's what I thought too. And honestly, some of the ones I did last year have accrued some views. Like the one when we went to Portillo's, I put up a clip. And I thought it was cool because until I went to the Chicago area, I didn't even know Portillo's existed. And so that's what I was thinking. Like, I went to this FGC event, but I also went to this restaurant. So that you could double dip. I can make two kinds of videos. But YouTube doesn't like that. It doesn't like you do two different things. But I posted it and it got almost no views. Like, even less than usual for me. So I was like, all right, never mind. But then I looked recently and it's gone up. Because it's what you sort of would call evergreen content. Like, every once in a while, someone will just type Portillo's into the search box and maybe my video might come up. And same for the HorrorCon we went to last year. Some of these have gone up over time. And I did reviews of some of my hardware that I bought, retro handhelds. That did good. So I might try more stuff. I don't rule it out. Let's close this out. And you can upload it anyway because more content. Yeah, and that's the plan, right? They call it the content pipeline. Like, once you're doing, say if you average 10,000 views a video and you upload something that's more low effort or more, not, like, you know, just like vlog style content, and it only gets 3,000 views or 5,000 views, that still benefits you, especially if you're monetized. It passively benefits the channel and it puts you out into the world more. Maybe you gradually climb in subscribers and all this stuff. We're just not there. Like, that's just never happened for this channel. Unfortunately, but I want to give it maybe one more try at doing real good scripted content, because we've gone up and we have more subscribers, which I think YouTube has like a floor for subscribers. Like, if you have 5 subscribers and you make the greatest well-edited video of all time, it doesn't matter and it will never show it to anybody because you have 5 subscribers. But we have a few more than that now, so I want to try doing, I don't know what I'll do, like top 10 background NPCs in fighting game, or top 10 things I ate at Combo Breaker, or whatever the hell it may be. And I'm gonna try that this year, or maybe next year, because this year's like almost over already. But I'd appreciate the encouragement anyway. If ever I think about this stuff a lot, maybe more than you guys would think, from how little I talk about it. So if I ever sound like you give me advice and I'm like, yeah, I already thought of that, it's not being dismissive. It's just because I did already think of it. But I'd still appreciate other people's perspective, and because you may think of it a way I don't, and you may teach me something I didn't think of. But anyway, this ended up being, we blew through 2 hours like way faster than I actually thought we possibly would. So thank you guys for hanging out. This ended up being actually a really fun stream. Maybe I should do this more often. Maybe Sundays can always be chill days, and like, maybe I'll play for like an hour and then we'll just chill for an hour. We can restream an event if the event is on, and if not, we can just chat. Who's streaming that I want to raid? That's the real question. Or I'll take recommends if you guys have a recommend. Low Tier God streaming. I saw someone streaming 2xKO. Oh, Fondanova's playing Shinobi. I was thinking of doing him. Yeah. And Krendor's doing some Kaizo Ironmon. Those are 2 solid choices. If you guys have any thought. It's his 5th affiliate anniversary. Let's raid Fontanova. That's good. That's a good enough reason for me. And he seems like, I don't know him that well, but he seems nice, so we'll say what's up to him. You guys be good amigos. Thank you guys very much, man. We got worked in 2xKO. Adam and I were in the lobby. You got Matt. Chance Marvisto got worked? Oh, he was playing solo, though. He was playing solo and he smoked you guys? I want to hear what the tech is, man. Every time the new game comes out, there's that week where you're like, maybe I could take games off of this top player. Maybe. Because the game's still new. I'm decent. Maybe I could do it. And sometimes it happens, and sometimes it doesn't. It made Adam pick up a new main. There you go. At least it made him change, like learn something instead of quit the game. So this is an improvement from previous iterations of the squad in previous games. So we'll take it. I'm happy. We'll play more this week. We'll play. I'm too tired tonight, but we'll play this week for sure. All right, I'm gonna raid Fontanova, man. You guys be good, okay? I'll do it before the ad starts. You guys don't gotta watch. Ads are for fucking chumps, man. Next one's on Tuesday. We'll try to keep the schedule this week. We'll do some Shinobi Art of Vengeance and maybe some 2XKO. That sounds good to me, man. All right, you guys be good. Have a really good night. Thanks for hanging out. See you guys.